Hello friends, how's it going? It's me, Betty Jean. It is time for another ranking my last 10 palettes video. I love doing these videos. It's just such a fun way to kind of recap on some palettes I've used recently, give my thoughts, my feelings, kind of prioritize which ones I like more than others. This one was so difficult because I truly don't dislike any of them, and especially my top probably 6, 7, or even the top 8. It was just really hard to arrange them, but I think I'm content with the order that I placed them in, and I'm really excited to chat about them. I always feel like I have to say this every time. If you think that I'm forgetting one, I promise you that I'm not. It either was in the previous ranking my last 10 palettes, it'll be in the next ranking my last 10 palettes, or I simply don't own it. I promise I don't forget things. I always keep a list, and it's ongoing, and I write my notes and I switch my order around as I try new things. So if you think I'm missing something, I promise you I'm not. This video idea was started by my friend Annette from Annette's Makeup Corner. I will of course have her channel down below, and I did film this look, of course. It should already be up on my Instagram and TikTok by the time this video goes up. And as for my accessories today, these earrings are from Spooky Doodle Club on Etsy. I don't remember where this choker is from, and this ring is from Etta Love. So yeah, without further ado, let's just hop in and rank my last 10 palettes. All right, so again, I just really feel the need to reiterate, even number 10, I do really enjoy. I had a lot of fun playing with it, and it's only ranked number 10 just because I happen to like all of the other ones more. I did think this one was going to be pushed a little bit higher, but as it turns out, everything that I tried, I just feel like I would gravitate towards a little bit more. Number 10 is going to be my Butterfly Effect palette from Spoiled Lips Cosmetics. It is beautiful. It is so fun. I use this in a look for Instagram and TikTok. It's smoky, it's sultry. I love the kind of red, black, gray. There's even like this dark blue. It's really fun to play with. The shimmers are lovely. The mattes blend really well. Again, the main reason I didn't rank this one any higher is just because I like everything else just a little bit more. The color stories are something I gravitate towards more. This one does have 2 pressed glitters, which I don't reach for very often. So just based on the other color stories and stuff going forward, I just feel like I'm more drawn to. That's why this one's number 10. It's not a bad palette. It just turns out that I like it the least compared to the other ones. Ranked number 9, this is going to be actually I think the only Colourpop palette in this one. Isn't that a shock? This is the Coast is Clear palette. It's from their new, it was called like the Extra Celestial collection or something like that. This is beautiful. I used this in an Instagram video and TikTok. This shade in particular, the third one, it is so wet looking on the eyes. It's like Ritz Super Shock Shadow, but even more wet looking. Such a good topper. I've actually reached for this palette a couple times just to do something super quick if I'm not filming, especially for this shade, just to add some wetness. It is gorgeous. The formulas in here are so pretty. We have like this marbled Super Shock Shadow. The mattes aren't anything like that crazy and exciting for me, but the shimmers truly are amazing in this palette. It's just such a dewy, wet looking palette. If you're looking for an easy, wet looking situation, this would be a good one. They also did 2 other like palettes in this format, just different color stories. This one was my favorite, so this is the one I kept and tried. The main reason I didn't rank this one any higher is just because as much as I do like the delicious wet looking shimmers, the color story just isn't anything super exciting for me. Everything else I do just love more. It's just the beautiful dewy shimmers in this did kind of outdo the previous palette, but yeah, I couldn't really rank this one much higher. Ranked number 8. This is one I purchased myself. This is my Give Me Glow 2 Moods palette. And again, don't get me wrong, I love this palette. Really starting from number 8, it was really hard to rank these. I love this palette. I did a 2 looks video on my YouTube channel, and I also did do an Instagram video / TikTok. I think that'll be up by the time this video goes up, that or it's coming very soon, so just stay tuned. It is beautiful. It opens like one side over here and then one side over here. It's a large palette, but it's honestly not that much bigger than my other Give Me Glow palettes. Do I wish the pan sizes could be smaller? Absolutely, but it's not the end of the world. It's a really pretty kind of neutral berry coral plum situation. It is super cute. I like that it's kind of broken up into quads. If you need like just something easy, you could do one board or the other. You can mix and match. The shimmers are so sparkly in here and the mattes blend like a dream. I love using these also as blushes. It's such a good multi-use palette. This one over here also works as a good highlight for my skin tone. It's overall a really good, I feel like a good staple palette. I would probably take this traveling with me as long as I had a big enough travel bag, just because I can kind of multi-use these shadows for different things. The only reason I didn't rank this one higher is just because as much as I do love it, I love Give Me Glow's formula. I think it's beautiful. The other color stories going forward are just a little more exciting, a little more me. I don't gravitate towards like neutrals, neutral berries, neutral corals as often. I'm very much a colorful person or a grungy person. So this just isn't the color story I'm gonna reach for all the time, but I do think it's a very solid palette and I've had fun playing with it. Okay, ranked number 7 is going to be my Sugar High palette from Menagerie. This is so pretty. They just sent it to me recently. I did do a YouTube video with this. And again, I will have an Instagram video / TikTok up probably after this video though. I don't think it'll be up before. It's very cute though. Menagerie has switched to circle pans, which is pretty exciting. I like the aesthetic of it. I like the theming, the sugar glider with the fruits. It's very cute. I like the colors in here. It's a colorful palette without it being a typical rainbow. And I will say the shimmers are beautiful. When I filmed my YouTube video the other day, I wore it all day at work. And then on my way home, the way the sun was shining in and I could see in my like rear view mirror, they were sparkling so beautifully. So that was pretty exciting. The main reason I didn't rank this one much higher is just because, and it's a very small nitpicky thing, but I had to really look at small nitpicky things with this ranking because I love so many of these, really all of these. I just feel like it needs a little more depth with the mattes. I feel like it's very mid-toned, kind of leaning pastel-y for some shades, but mostly just very mid-toned. And then some of the shimmers get fairly deep. So I feel like if there would have been just one more deeper, colorful matte, I would have been a little bit happier. But for the most part, I do think this is a really pretty palette. I think the formula is nice and the colors are fun to play with. It's just because it was kind of lacking that little bit of depth that I needed. That's why I prioritized everything else. Everything else is just a little more what I want right now, but this was fun to play with. Don't get me wrong, I think it's very cute. I think it's supposed to be coming back in stock sometime in the summer. I would say keep track of their Instagram for information on that. All right, ranked number 6, rounding out the bottom 5 of these last 10 palettes, I'm giving number 6 to my Nomad Cosmetics Meet Me in the Underworld palette. This is so pretty. I just did a get ready with me with this palette. I think it'll be up like the day before this video goes up. And again, there will be an Instagram video / TikTok coming soon. She actually sent this to me because she saw me play with her Meet Me at Midnight and I loved that palette. It was gorgeous. This one I'm honestly sad that I didn't own sooner. I don't know why. I skipped on it last year. I just had to prioritize other things, but I'm really happy this is in my life now. It's just beautiful. It is grungy. It has those murky tones, those jewel tones. I love the green pink combo. I think it is so sultry and delicious. The shimmers have a nice metallic finish. They're not crazy sparkly, but they do have that really nice shiny metallic finish. And the mattes blend beautifully. They are so easy to work with. I love this palette. And again, I really thought this one was gonna be in my top 5, but after rearranging these 100 times, this one did end up making it to number 6 because I love everything else just a teeny bit more. But this one has been so much fun to play with. I love the theming. I think it is so cool. And I'm really happy to have this one in my life. I feel like these videos have been getting harder for me because this year especially, if I like receive a palette in PR that I just don't think I'm gonna vibe with, I just don't even use it to begin with because I'm trying not to just like use things for the sake of using them. I wanna use things that I genuinely think I'll like. So then I end up with a bunch of palettes that I genuinely really like and then it's really hard to pin them together. It's gonna be rough at the end of June when I film my ranking my 2022 palettes so far. There's been a lot of hits so far. There have been some misses, but a lot of hits so far. All right, moving on to the top 5 of these 10 palettes. Number 5, I'm giving to my Gemini II palette. I treated myself to this one as well. I actually treated myself to, I think, a few of the palettes this time, which is awesome. It's beautiful. I love my original Gemini. That will forever probably be in my top 10. It is just so good, and this palette is delicious. I've had so much fun playing with it. I did a YouTube video, and again, I will have an Instagram video up. I think it might be after this video as well, though. It'll be coming soon. Sometimes things go on TikTok sooner, though, I will say. Usually, things end up on TikTok sooner than Instagram, so just stay tuned. If it's not already up, it'll be up soon. I love the gradient in here. It goes just from peachy rosy into that deep plum, into the swampy murky greens. There are only 2 shimmers, but it honestly doesn't bother me, especially because I've had some other things to kind of play with palettes. Like I've been playing a lot with my molten chrome gels from Unearthly Cosmetics. I have a bunch of liners to play with. So I've actually been having fun with like a more matte vibe and then incorporating other things. And the shimmers that are in here, I think are really rich and pretty. I've heard from some people that the main criticism with this palette is that there isn't a light shimmer, but that truly doesn't bother me that much. I tend to just use whatever face highlight I'm using if I don't feel like I have a shade in a palette that works as an inner corner highlight. So it doesn't bother me. I appreciate the grunge factor. If I could change anything, I probably wouldn't have both of these. I feel like I would have switched one of those out. Like maybe one of those could have been a really nice light shimmer, but I really like this palette. I think it's beautiful. I think it's gorgeous. I think the main reason I didn't rank this one any higher is maybe just because these two were too similar for me. They're not exactly the same by any means, but I just personally don't need both. So I guess that was my nitpicky thing that made me not rank this one any higher. But I just love Melt's formula. I love the richness of this. And I like the shimmer formula because it just has a very like rich kind of textured metallic feel. I don't know. These two are really hard to pin against each other. But I did end up picking this one. I just liked it a tiny bit more. Just a tiny bit more. They're basically tied though. Moving on to number 4. Number 4 is going to be my Adept Cosmetics and Heather Austin palette. I treated myself to this as well, and it is so pretty. I did a YouTube video with it, and the look that I'm wearing right now is with this palette as well on my Instagram and TikTok. It was my first time trying this brand, and I was really excited to support Heather. There are 4 mattes and then 8 delicious, shifty, transformative shimmers. They are so pretty and shifty. I just love them so much. I've had a lot of fun playing with this so far. I truly do think the shimmers do live up to the hype that I've been hearing about them for quite a while, and I'm happy that I finally got the opportunity to try them. The mattes are fine. I think they perform well. They aren't anything that's like blowing my socks off, but I think they're a fine formula. I do like the colors. I feel like this is a shade that I personally won't reach for very often. I did use it in my first impressions video just for the sake of using it, but I personally would have probably switched this out for something different. Maybe like, I don't know what I would have switched it out for. Something different though. Whether it be another shimmer or maybe a different colorful matte. But for the most part, I think this is really, really pretty. It is gorgeous. I've been happy with the looks I've been creating, and yeah, I knew I had to rank this one pretty high. I guess the only nitpicky thing I had was the fact that that Atlas shade isn't one that I'm gonna gravitate towards that often. So that's why I prioritized the next 3 over it, but this is a wonderful palette. This one is also out of stock in the meantime, I believe, but stay tuned on their Instagram accounts for restock information. Moving on to the top 3. I love these 3 with my whole heart. Okay. Number 3 is going to be this cute little palette. It's the Cupid's Arrow palette from St. Angel's Sinners Cosmetics. This is a 6-pan palette of just delicious, slick, slippy, delicious, transformative, shifty shadows. I think I said delicious twice, and that's just because I'm obsessed with these. I actually used this in conjunction with my Lowest Cosmetics palette in that Get Ready With Me, and it is so pretty. These are gorgeous. They sent me a package recently, and this is the first palette I've tried from them. These shadows are out of this world delicious. I love them. I'm really excited to try more from them. I have a couple other palettes I need to dabble into, so those will be talked about in the next Ranking My Last 10 Palettes video. But yeah, these are amazing. I'm so happy I got the opportunity to try them. I had no expectations going in because I actually didn't know much about this brand until they sent me something. And then once I got around to swatching them, I was like, whoa, okay, wait a minute, hold up. Need to use this ASAP. So I love this. I think it is so beautiful. I can see myself gravitating towards this a lot. I can see myself throwing this in a bag if I'm traveling just to have a little extra spice in the mix. This is so pretty, and I'm really excited to try more from the brand. Moving on to number 2. We all knew this was gonna be ranked high up, right? This is my Shroud Cosmetics Creepy Cute 2 palette. I am living, breathing, dying, obsessed with this. It is so good. I did a 2 looks video with this, and I did a look on my Instagram/TikTok already. And I also do wanna do a video soon on my Instagram with this one and the OG Creepy Cute, just kind of mashing them together. I love this. I had so much fun creating my looks with this in my 2 looks video. I just had so much joy, such a good makeup day, and because I did both of those looks in the same day, and it was just Such a happy day. I knew I had to rank this one high. Not only do I love my OG Creepy Cute with my whole heart, it is like my favorite pastel palette. I was so excited for the sequel. I've known this has been in the works for a while, and I'm just so excited it's finally here. It is beautiful. I love the tones. I think they are both rich, but they can also be pastelized if you want them to be lighter, but they can also be very saturated if you want to build them up. I just have had such a blast, and it is gorgeous. I actually thought this was going to be ranked #1, but I ended up giving #1 the spot because it also just has really beautiful shimmers. And this one is an all matte palette, which isn't a negative thing, but as far as like things that I'm likely to reach for, I love a good shimmer. So I wanted to rank this one really high, but I had to give the #1 spot to something else. I am obsessed with this though. I think it is beautiful. And finally, ranked #1. I'm really excited about this one. I actually didn't realize that this one was gonna blow me away as much as it did, but it's my Nomad Cosmetics Paradise Islands palette. I think they knocked it out of the park with this one. It is just such a beautiful, fun, tropical, colorful dream. I feel like it has such a good gradient from like peachy oranges into greeny teals into bluey purples. It is such a good color story, and the shimmers are so pretty in here. They have such a good sparkle and shine to the eyes. The mattes blend like a dream, and I was just really happy with this one. I did do a video on my YouTube channel and on my Instagram/TikTok if you need inspo. And I also played with this by itself when I was getting ready for work but didn't feel like filming. I think this is a really fun one. I think I'm gonna gravitate towards this a lot. Now, I don't think it's like my #1 favorite Nomad palette. I think the Iceland will forever be my favorite one, but this one is pretty high up there. I was very impressed with this one. It's a lot of fun, and I'm happy that I have this in my life. Ooh, okay, I feel like I've been talking forever. I hope you enjoyed this video. This was such a hard ranking, and really so many of these could have been like switched into so many different orders. It was really hard for me to come to this conclusion, but I'm pretty happy with what I did here. There were a lot of good palettes this time, and I'm excited to hear your thoughts. Are you interested in any of these? Do you want any of these yourself? I would love to hear your thoughts down below. If you made it to the end of this video, why don't you leave me your last 10 most recently used emojis, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps my channel out a lot, and if you're not already, you can follow me on my other socials. You can join the battybean fam. I am battybean on everything, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, and if you want, you can subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. I'm posting most days over here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Okay, bye.